And now it's time to discuss the news that is a recast for one of Hollyoaks' troubled teens. Hollyoaks is going to be recasting Mercedes McQueen's young son, who I can't really say what he did at this very minute, but after that minute mark, we will go into exactly who is returning and why. But yeah, so Hollyoaks casts Waterloo Road star as new look Bobby Costello. Now, if you don't remember who Bobby is the troubled child of Mercedes. He is Silas's grandson, and that was always a big thing about, he is Silas's grandson. Silas is a prolific character on Hollyoaks. Just wait. He was corrupted by Silas, and this ended up with him taking more of a villainous role as such. He played parts in Silver dying. He has 2 kills on his count of Silas himself and Verity Hutchinson. He is a troubled teen, and he would constantly be trying to cause issues. He was played by Jaden Fox. Now he will be played by Waterloo Road star Zach Sutcliffe. Now, I won't lie, I don't know much about the new iteration of Waterloo Road, but as far as I remember, he is kind of bad boy, waylaid. He's not very nice, but he's bored, chaotic. Look at all this stuff, man. He is a bit of a problem child. So it's a kind of interesting way. So you recast him. Obviously, when you recast a character like this, you obviously want him to be a much older actor, as the previous actor was Jaden Fox, right? But Jaden Fox was young. He was young, and he was kind of trying to play like this, but also how seriously can you take a character who's trying to be a big deal when, he's too young. He's too young for the role. He's too young for the serious storylines that they were going to give him. So yes, he has now been recast. He was last seen on the soap in 2023. The actor has already started filming on the show set in Liverpool and will appear as the recast version of Bobby in a few weeks' time. Further details of his storyline are kept closely under wraps now, although he's been filming scenes with Hollyoaks' favourite Jennifer Metcalfe, who plays Bobby's mum, Sadie. Now, I mean, yeah, from this picture, you can already gauge he's a much older version of Bobby, and he's going to have a much darker side that we're actually going to be able to explore, simply because you can't go so hard on these storylines if the actor isn't really up to snuff. And yeah, sure, the old actor was okay. He was pretty fine at the role. But if you want to tell this twisted reuniting with Mercedes and, finally being back in each other's lives after all this time, Mercedes always feel like she failed Bobby, and now time to see how all that angst has dealt with it. Because how much in contact has Mercedes been with Bobby? How much has she actually seen him? Has it festered into something worse? Is he a problem child? Is he going to get worse? All the stuff we could see, and that's pretty interesting in my book to see if that's the angle they're going to take it. Speaking exclusively to Digital Spy, Zach commented, "I'm having a lot of fun on my time on Hollyoaks so far. It's exciting to get into something gritty and complex." Show source added, "Mercedes hasn't been able to see her son Bobby recently." Okay, there we are. Fans know that she has been undergoing treatment for bowel cancer and recently spent time in prison. There are emotional scenes ahead as Mercedes gets a chance to reunite with Bobby, but under what circumstances? Bobby, the son of Mercedes and her late ex-partner Riley Costello, has appeared on Hollyoaks on and off again since his birth in 2011, most recently played by Jaden Fox. In 2023, Bobby exited Hollyoaks to have turned to the dark side. Surprise storyline. He was responsible for the deaths of Silver McQueen, Silas Blissett, and Verity Hutchinson, and he nearly killed DeMarcus. Zach is best known to fans for playing Shuey Weaver in Waterloo Road since last year, and he's been doing other stuff as well. So yeah, there we are. So Bobby is now being recast to someone much older and someone who will be able to tackle this storyline a lot deeper, a lot more interesting, and probably just outright better, let's be honest. Now, I won't lie, I've not seen his work in Waterloo Road. I don't think we may have, but I watched the first series and it didn't really land with me, so I didn't really continue from there. But as you can tell, it's clearly a much grittier approach, and it'll be interesting to see the way he's brought back, because I don't remember exactly why he was sent to his crimes. He got away with a crime, but he did confess to them, which meant that he was now sent to prison. And yeah, sure, it is a juvenile detention center, but also now it's kind of how will they show this? How will they have this? How will he return if he's in prison, essentially? How will he return if he's in a juvenile detention center? I kind of look forward to this because I always think it's an interesting idea. It's just the issue with the Bobby character is you were trying to prove that he was evil, but you could never really take him seriously because it was evil in like a kind of, it wasn't like a cartoony evil in a way, but it was like, yes, I play chess, but also I am Silas's grandson. I've got a dark side. Why didn't you love me, Mercedes? Why didn't you love me? And it's like, I don't really know how this lands. And I didn't really like the actor that much anyway. Like, yeah, that did a good job. You also had, like, Geraldine or Gwyneth. I don't know. You had, like, an American woman who was there, and she was Bobby's, like, stepmom. And I think she was killed by Silas. And it just didn't land. It didn't land at all. But I'm excited for this casting. I'm excited to... The issue with Mercedes is, despite being so prolific and on the show, she only has, like, 3 kids. And she's only, like, she had Bobby, and that was... Obviously, she's had troubles with, like, actually conceiving and stuff like that. But, like, you never really... A character like Mercedes is a character like... It's a character like Stacey Slater, but the difference with Stacey Slater is Stacey Slater's had a bunch of kids, and the issue with Mercedes is, yeah, she had baby Gabriel. Oh no, she had Gabriel. No, Gabriel unfortunately passed, I believe. Is stillborn, something. And then she had the twins, Maria Gabriella, Maria Carmela. But like, you want a big family for her to bounce off of, and you still have that with the McQueens, but fundamentally, you do want Mercedes to essentially become a nan. You want her to have her kids to fight for and fend for. So it's always good when you add more characters for these characters to be around, because you want to establish the future whilst you're still having them be a very present and very potent character in its own right. Because Mercedes is a Hollyoaks for lifer. Mercedes is Hollyoaks till she dies. So it's now good to actually build it up. How will new Bobby react to having twin baby sisters? That'll be interesting to see. And in what circumstances will they be reunited? Yeah, that's honestly, it's interesting. I'm excited to see it. I hope it turns out the way I'd want it to, but it's a much better. See, most people don't really like recasts, but in this sense, it's probably the right choice. And it's always a risk with soap where you do recast someone to an older actor, where you want them in for a specific purpose, and unfortunately, the previous character may not have necessarily filled that mold. It's always risk. It's always a kind of unfortunate situation where I'm sure Jaden Fox will become a good actor, but also he isn't like advancing at the rate, and they do want to make Bobby more like much older and kind of mature him as a character. And sometimes it's just a necessary evil in soap. Sometimes you don't necessarily want to wait to bring out a new one. So yeah, there we are. That's the video. What do you think about it? Tell me in the comment section down below. I've been Ash from Watching Walford. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Bye-bye. Bye. Bye. And what do you think about this recast as well?